Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking our time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciated, so thank you in advance. Now, I want to present to you a game that is a perfect combination of when different cultures are combined in like the best way possible. And also, it's a Dreamcast game, so we're going to talk about it because I love pretty much every Dreamcast game. Jet Grind Radio. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Jet Grind or Jet Set series, however you want to call it, you essentially play characters who use special types of rollerblades to grind across the city, and at the same time they do graffiti in order to mark their territory, and the city doesn't really appreciate that. And then you have DJ Professor K, who is basically narrating the story and pretty much for you, like telling you what's going on, what the factions are, things like that, right? Now, this is like the premise of the game is kind of like dumb, right? You're a group of ruffians, hooligans, and you go around tagging the city with your graffiti, and you can collect different graffiti, and it's really colorful and very different. And it's a really, really, really fun game. Like, just in the simplest form, like when everything works out the way it's supposed to, when you're able to, hit a grind or a nice jump and land into a trick sequence and go into some graffiti, and like it's a really, like, you have to play it to know what I'm talking about. So those that know, they know what, why this game is so cool. I did my best to kind of show you why the game is cool, but also I was always not good at this game. Like, this is one of the games that I really loved, but there was something that I just always kind of missed out on. And of course the controls are, a product of their time, but like some of it was me, because my friend Marquise, who's like the first person I know to have this game, he would be able to do things very, very, very smooth. Now, granted, he put a lot more time into this game than I did, but that's not the point. I wanted to be able to do the cool things that he was able to do without putting in the same amount of effort and time into the game, if you're not understanding. But no, this is a really cool game, very colorful. This is one of the games where it was like, okay, yeah, you can't tell me the Dreamcast isn't an amazing system. Look at this experience. This is something that no other system has. Like, this is what made the Dreamcast special, was games like this where Sega was like, we're just gonna go for it. It doesn't need to be the most exciting concept, but when you see it and you play it, you'll understand why we put so much time and effort into these games. Like, these are like one of the many Sega labor of love games where, financially it probably didn't work out as great as it should have or could have, but the people who got a chance to experience it really appreciate what they have. They also made like a remake, or not really a sequel, not really a remake, for the Xbox, which was like Jet Set Radio Future, which wasn't bad, but it also was like the same game to a degree. Like, there's some differences, but Jet Grind Radio was the blueprint, and it was fantastic. And just again, another example of why the Dreamcast means so much to me, because it was starting to show that games could be what games started to evolve into as we got into like the PS2 era and things like that. The Dreamcast was was planting seeds. You could see the things there, and also kind of showed that maybe Sega wasn't the best console maker, but they still knew how to make some really engaging and different games that we hadn't seen before and didn't think was actually something that people were even gonna make. The music in this game, for one, fantastic. And, I would love to let you hear more or any of it, but those copyright strikes be coming hard. So you should definitely seek out this game in some form or fashion, whether you play Jet Set Radio Future or you play Jet Grind Radio. You can't go wrong. They're both great. They both have the same energy to them. And the characters are really cool. You're playing as the GGs. So you have Beat, Gum, and Tab, who you start off with. There are other characters that you get and unlock that have different abilities as far as like their stats and what they're good at. Some people are more proficient at graffiti and can hold more cans. Some people are better at being able to maneuver. Some people are better at jumping and, can kind of reach heights that are harder to get with certain people. It's just, everybody had their strengths and weaknesses, but all of the characters were really well designed and had just a level of flavor that we don't get a lot of times out of these games at this point. So this is always, for me, my example of like, no, if you really want to do it, you can do it. So I wanted to, give this game its flowers. the only way I can, which is through this series. Now I know that if you are of my age, you are familiar with this game, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. You know, what were some things that you did? Were you able to actually make your own graffiti? Because that was an option there. I just was terrible at it, so I never did it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about this game and the series as a whole. So appreciate you letting me take out time to reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe. Peace.